It's time for Animaniacs!
The Warner Brothers and Warner sister are back, promising to pick up where they left off in 1998, minus Tom Ruegger. But can they really just do that?
Let's take a look at how this reboot compares to the totally insane original.
The intro. Even if you remember nothing about the Animaniacs, guarantee that you'll remember the catchy intro.
And now there's a new one to get used to.
Well, the good news is that the intro remains largely unchanged here, except for a few new visuals and different verses in the middle section.
The reason for this change, considering how perfect the previous intro was.
Funny enough, it's actually explained in the verses, as the show's attempt to get with the times and modernize for a different audience.
I mean, does anyone still want to be stuck in the 90s? Heck, even security guard Ralph receives a new uniform. Though you do have to wonder who thought brown would be a good color for him.
Naturally, you're probably curious to hear if Pinky and the Brain's intro has been tampered with, right? Thankfully, no one has dared touch that iconic theme song, even if the montage has been upgraded, and the fabled Acme Labs receive a fresher, sleek look.
And speaking of the laboratory mice whose genes have been spliced, Pinky and the Brain steal the show.
While the Animaniacs reboot might feature Yakko, Wakko, and Dot's faces everywhere, it's actually held together by Pinky and the Brain.
They're the glue and central to every episode, as their middle segment steals the show every single time. The jokes are intentionally meta, and you can't help but howl as Brain's schemes unravel, all due to him and Pinky's constant mishaps.
Considering how popular the characters were in the past, there was no way they'd actually be ignored for the reboot. That being said, it feels as if their stories are the strongest part of Animaniacs this time around. While the other segments are all over the place and differ in tone and style, Pinky and the Brain stick to what they do really well, and that is trying to take over the world.
It kind of proves that if you have a winning formula, there's no point in messing with it. Narf!
Goodbye, old friends. The original Animaniacs show featured a host of other tunes like Slappy Squirrel, Buttons, and Mindy, and even the Good Feathers. But these characters aren't a part of the proceedings here.
Much like Nicolas Cage, they're gone in 60 seconds.
Their absence is addressed in a tongue-in-cheek way, and you do spot them briefly in a scene, but there aren't any cool segments with them like there used to be.
As it turns out, the clue for their absence actually lies in the intro.
The old song used to list off the characters as part of the Animaniacs, but now it only mentions Pinky and the Brain, and a brand new cast that tested well with focus groups.
Perhaps the show decided that it'd focus, pardon the pun, on its most successful characters, rather than give airtime to the less popular ones.
Even so, there's still a lump in my throat when I think of the good times with the Good Feathers.
Oh yes, those pigeons deserve so much more. The brand new characters. The Animaniacs reboot is all about the Warner Brothers, and Warner's sister, and Pinky and the Brain.
That doesn't mean it forgets to introduce a few new faces, though. One of the most talked about new segments is Starbucks and Cindy. Featuring a different art style, it follows the story of a young girl who thinks an alien is an action figure.
Well, if you enjoyed this little segment, then you'll be disappointed to know there's only one Starbucks and Cindy bit in the whole season. Like, seriously, why tease us like that?
The good news is, there's also a brand new character called Nils, who does pop up more than once.
He's an egotistical athlete with muscles on his muscles, but he's totally hilarious and an outrageous parody of Arnold Schwarzenegger. But let's be real here. You didn't tune into the Animaniacs to watch the new characters, right?
Of course not. Sing for the moment.
It's important that every single 90s kid takes a moment to write a letter to Yakko and thank him for helping them pass geography due to Yakko's world.
But how will he and his siblings help a new generation pass their school subjects?
Through singing, duh!
The reboot is littered with musical numbers as the characters break out into song whenever there's an opportunity. However, the standout moment is in the season finale, where Dot covers all the first ladies, minus one, in 2 minutes.
It's like a mini history lesson packed into the shortest amount of time, demonstrating how Animaniacs remembers what made it popular in the first place.
It'll be interesting to see if there's any attempt in season 2 to top everything that's come before it, though.
Who knows? Maybe Wakko should recite every word from the Harry Potter movies in under 2 minutes. Now that sounds zany to the max, but you know you want to see it.
The dated jokes. There's a point in the Animaniacs reboot where they break the fourth wall and admit the show was written in 2018, so they don't know how dated the jokes will be.
Well, they kinda are.
Unlike the original, there are times when you groan at the overused cliches.
Like, really, is everyone still upset about Batman v Superman? Seriously, find a new punching bag.
Fortunately, the whole season isn't always like that.
When the reboot sticks to broader topics like politics, it successfully takes the Mickey out of them. Mickey. Get it?
After such a long absence, the fact that everyone is talking about the Animaniacs reboot is proof of the show's undeniable influence and pop culture appeal.
Old fans want to see if the magic is still there, while newer ones are curious about these odd creatures and their constant fits of singing.
Whichever way you look at it, that's a success in its own right.
And those are the facts.
But what did you think of the reboot? Are you pleased that the focus remained on fewer characters this time?
And do you hope Pinky and the Brain get their own show?
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments section down below.
And while you're at it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Cartoon Junkies.